Two huge cases just dropped from the Supreme Court that we need to pay attention to. There are a couple more coming down the pipeline in the next few days. The first is ExxonMobil v. Corporation Cemex. The court reopened a $1 billion suit against Cuban state firms, meaning the Cuban government, holding that Congress stripped away their sovereign immunity under the Helms-Burton Act for trafficking and confiscated property. Now, this is important because this is basically saying during the Cuban Revolution, any entity that had their property nationalized by the government can now sue for a recovery, meaning all of the rich folks in Miami who came over, some with wealth, some without wealth, can now sue to collect their farms, their businesses from the Cuban state. It's an interesting policy because it could have the effect of breaking Cuba, particularly when it comes to money that's been seized already. So this is quite interesting for the reformation of the Cuban state, allowing the successive generations of people and corporations to reclaim wealth. I think that's the long-term impact and intent. Second is the dreadlocks case, Lander v. Louisiana, where prison officials shaved the head of a black man who had locks. While the court condemned the prison officials for forcibly shaving a Rastafarian's locks in violation of his faith, they still ruled that federal religious rights, a statute that underwrites it, does not allow for damages to be collected in terms of money. Whether this opens up a gateway for more violations of religious faith when it comes to Rastafarians and others, or whether it could affect federal employees is hard to tell. But the idea here is that in this case, the inmate lost his case, and whether this opens up a broader issue for more abuse in this area. And then there are other big cases you've got to pay attention to. The court still has to decide birthright citizenship, Trump's attempt to narrow the 14th Amendment citizenship clause, which is a big issue, rules for counting mail-in ballots, Trump's ability to fire independent agency officials, state bans on transgendered athletes in women's sports, and major immigration cases that are going to test presidential power and control. Pay attention to what the Supreme Court is doing because your rights are fundamentally going to change. Stay tuned for more.